Hi, this is Chris. Today I'm going to do page 4 in my series of repainting my first watercolor travel journal 40 years later. So we've already done page 1 and 2 and page 3, and here is page 4. And here's my new tablet. Here's page 1 and 2, and here's page 3, and here's page 4. So the first one is Tuolumne Meadows, Yosemite, and the second one is Owens River in Owens Valley, which is just east of Yosemite on the other side of the mountains. It's going to be difficult. My table isn't quite big enough. Maybe I can work a bit like this. So I will go ahead and pencil this in and then start painting. It's going to be difficult because I don't have a clear memory of this particular scene. I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at a photograph of it. All I'm looking at is what I painted 40 years ago, and then I was just starting out. I'll put a graphic of my watercolor palette on so you can see what colors I'm using. This is not my only watercolor palette. It's the only one I'm using right now for this particular series. It's what I usually use at my art table. I have some other palettes that I take when I'm traveling, depending on whether I'm traveling by car or traveling in an airplane. And if you'd like to see those, I'll go over those at the end of this video. I have shown them in other videos, but that was a couple years ago, I think. I'm going to continue to build in layers, or what's called glazing, when I do wet over dry, and just build up the negative spaces like I did last month on the last page with the forest. And So I'll work on that and then I'll start working on the foreground. I brought in my other palette that has ochre in it, which is not on this palette. And I've done beginning washes for the water and the grasses and this tree here. And then I will continue with doing rocks here, and then the river continues over here with some reflections. I made the bridge a little more predominant so that you can tell what it is. It's hard to tell here that that's a road bridge going over there. And I'll continue working on that. It's difficult to see, but I went through with my foreground rocks and I kind of outlined where I thought I would like to have the rocks defined. And now I can go in and put in shadows and make the rocks look like they're really sitting there. Just about finished with this. I'm going to do a few more details. I'm going to put in some spatters on this embankment back here so it doesn't look like a big rock or something, and probably do a little more detail on the trunk of this tree, and some shadows under the grasses, and maybe a few more dark areas in here, some spatters on the rocks. Over here on the rocks I lifted up some of the paint to make it lighter, like the light is reflecting off the water onto the rocks. So I'll continue with that and then we'll be done with this one. To do my spatters, I like to just cut some papers. You can hold those down with some weights. And then I have an old toothbrush. And I'll just do some. This is in the distance, so these should be small spatters. Not in the sky. These, by the way, are vintage dress weights. They're used to hold a pattern down on fabric, and you can still get dress weights, but I haven't seen any quite like these. I really like these. I'm going to use the Micron 05 pen to outline like this one is, but I'm not going to outline the rocks and things that I outlined the original time. I'm just going to leave those as they are. And this was Creek near camp at Tuolumne Meadows. Put it where you could see it, I guess. I'm going to clean this up and then I'll be able to show you better. That took a lot longer than I had planned, and so I won't be doing this bottom one here on the camera. I will do that maybe tomorrow when I have some time, and then I will show it. So here is our Tuolumne Meadows and then the river with all the rocks. So now I promised I would show you some of my other watercolor palettes. Put this here. So this is my travel case. I have shown this before, but it's been a while, I think. And it's an old Creative Memories toolkit. It's like this. And this is great for when I'm traveling by car. And I have a water bottle like this. It's a camping flask. It has a double seal, and you can use this as a mixing cup. So I can put water in there. And then I have this other flask. This was a souvenir from the Continental Divide. It just has one lid on it, so I want to make sure that that's tight. This has water in it right now. I have some more of these piddle pad kind of bedding because it's very absorbent and lasts a long time. I have my pencil case, and in here I have several toothbrush and a micron pen and some brushes and pencils and pencil sharpeners and erasers and all that stuff. But my palette is this one. I've had this for many years. I'm not sure who made this. And so I have a lot of paints in here. And the thing I love about watercolor paints is they don't get old. You just add water to them after they dry out and they're perfectly good. I've had paints for years and years. And so that needs to be cleaned up a little bit, but that's my watercolor palette. And if I'm traveling on an airplane and I just want to take a small watercolor journal, this fits really tight, I take this Winsor Newton Field Box. I've had this for many years. They've changed the color of it. I think it comes in black now. It has this little cup that fits on there and has these little fold-out palettes. It comes with paints, but what I did was I took them out and I put in my own paints. So these are the same paints that are on my other palettes. And this is a little water bottle, and this is a little collapsible brush, which I don't really use. So I took this with me to Scotland, and I spent 3 weeks painting in Scotland, and I just used this little palette and this pencil bag. Oops. I also have in here, I have a little bit of this absorbent piddle pad stuff. I have a little bit of a sponge, and I have some sea sponge in case I want to do some effects with those. And I love that palette. And I make my own watercolor journals with a bookbinding, loom bookbinding method, and I have videos on that too. Here's both paintings for page number 4. We've got Creek near camp at Tuolumne Meadows, and we've got Owens River in Owens Valley. And that's me fishing in the Owens River. So thanks for watching, and come back for page 5 next month. Have a great day painting. Bye-bye.